stop, to detach from. He said you're going to discontinue from your heritage. Meaning that what? Read on.
That I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever.
And the Lord said because we disobeyed the Most High God and made him mad, he's going to take away our nationality and our heritage, put us in a land that our forefathers don't know, and we're going to have to serve another nation of people. What people don't know who they are living in a land that's not theirs, and are serving another nation of people. Only can be us, sister. You know how many people we talk to on a weekly basis? They be like, what's the nationality? We're like, I don't know. And they tell us it's black. They tell us it's national. They just tell African American. We don't know. We're the only people that's lost. Well, the Lord said he came to save the lost sheep of the house of Israel. We're the only people that's lost, sister. Meaning that what? We have to be these people that you read about in the scriptures, the descendants from the nation of Israel. God showed the people. Let me get this.
It's the book of 1 Kings 9 and 7. Then will I cut off Israel out of the land which I have given them, and this house which I have hallowed for my name will I cast out my sight, and Israel shall be a proverb.
And what?
And Israel shall be a proverb and a byword among all people.
So the Lord said he's going to kick the nation of Israel about their homeland for not keeping the commandments, and you're going to be a proverb and a byword. You know what a proverb is? Yeah, proverb. It's a wise saying. Like, damn, this nigga jump high. Damn, that nigga run fast. Right? That's a proverb. It's a wise saying. Niggas low, and then a byword is calling you something outside of your nationality, your name. Right? Like, sister, what's your name? What is it? That? Now, if I called you Brittany, that's a byword. That's not your name. Right? So when they calling us black African American and niggas, those are bywords. Right? That's what the Lord said. He's going to kick the Israelites out of their home, and he's going to be a proverb and a byword amongst all the nations. We're the only people that live like that. Right? So since you gotta understand that we come from a nation of kings, right? We're literally royalty. You know they sell melanin for like $500 a gram. Right. We're worth more than gold. Easy. We come from royalty. It's literally in our blood. But we have detached from our nationality and our heritage that God gave us, and now we don't know who we are. Now we strung out on drugs. Now we niggas in the street. We want to be gangsters, killing our own people. Right? That's not who we were once upon a time. Right? But now that's what we're trying to come back to. Right? We're trying to get our people to come back to the commandments of the Most High God and keep them to the best of their ability as Israelites. Let me get Isaiah 42 verse number 12 real quick. Right? As Israelites, sister, that would be your nationality. You call yourself a so-called black woman, right? You would be an Israelite from the tribe of Judah, sister. Right? Give me 1 second real quick. Read this.
Look at Isaiah chapter 42 and verse number 12. Read. Let them give glory unto the Lord and declare his praise in the island. The Lord shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. He shall cry, yea, roar. He shall prevail against his enemy. I have long time holding my peace.
What did the Lord say?
I have long time holding my peace.
Read it again.
I have long time holding my peace. I have been still and refrained myself. Now will I cry like a travailing woman. I will destroy and devour. And what?
And with that, put me a shout.
Put me a shout.
Next mighty brother gonna come up and give you some edification.
What's your name? Ask you a question. You get chapter 5 verse 10. Ask you a question. The brother spoke to you. You got time for? You said a couple more minutes.
Tobit chapter 5 and verse 10. Then Tobit said unto him, brother, show me of what tribe and family thou art.
He said what?
Show me what tribe and family thou art.
So I'm going to ask you, what tribe and family art thou? So what I'm asking is, what's your nationality? You said what? All praise to the Most High. What's your tribe? Look, right there, right there. Yeah. Yeah, just like how you have like, yeah, Simeon? Alright, Simeon, yeah. You know, just like Native Americans, they have a, you know, Native Americans, they're like, alright, I'm Native American, but they have a certain tribe. You know, Cherokee, Arawak, things of that nature, right? So that's what I was asking. So now, when somebody asks you that same question, I'm an Israelite from the tribe of Simeon. Alright, go ahead.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 16 and verse 6. The lines are fallen unto me in pleasant places. Yeah, I have a goodly heritage. I have a goodly heritage.
And sister, we have a goodly heritage. This is a beautiful heritage by the Most High God that's given to us. You understand that? Right? So he already showed you, a couple of the commandments and things of that nature. Did he give you things that we can eat and not eat, stuff like that? All right, the pamphlet. All right, I'm going to just go through one real quick since I know your bus will be coming. Deuteronomy 14 and 8 real quick. Because these are things that we're going to show, like, that you can start now. Like the Sabbath, for example. That's something that you can start to, get familiar with now. It's not something that's going to be a burden a week from now. But it's like, yeah, make sure you better keep the dedication. Exactly, it's going to be on your mind.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14 and verse 8. And the swine.
You know what swine is.
Because it divided the hoof, yet it cheweth not the cud. It is unclean unto you.
So the pork is unclean to our people as a nation. It's unclean. It's nasty, it's foul, it's dirty. Right? Go ahead.
Ye shall not eat of their flesh.
And the brother was telling you about how we're kings, princesses, royalty, right? Let me show you the royalty.
Nor touch their dead carcass. Nor touch their dead carcass.
He said they're so dirty you can't even touch their dead carcass. Right? Yeah. You can't listen, you see it as an elegant daughter of Zion, you gotta move the other way. You can't touch it. Right. That's how royal we are. Look, them little heathens and all that, they can go over there and play with the little portlet. We're not touching that. We're royalty, right? Go ahead.
Verse number 9. These shall you eat of all that are in the waters.
And now it's going to go into the things that are in the waters, right? Because, for example, the things that we can't eat that it really harp on, because camel is one, but we're going to go to the
Chapter 1 and verse number 20. According to my earnest expectation and my hope, that in nothing I shall be ashamed. That in nothing I shall be ashamed. That in nothing I shall be ashamed.
And the Lord said, in nothing I shall be ashamed, man. We're not going to be ashamed of anything in the Lord's words, man. We're going to come out here and we're going to defend the gospel, man. You know?
But that with all boldness. But with all boldness. With all boldness.
With all boldness.
As always, so now also, how much y'all shall be magnified in my body, whether it be by life or by death. By life or by death. By life or by death.
By life or by death. Give me the book of Proverbs, chapter 30 and verse 30, man. We're coming out here to defend our Lord and Savior, Yahushua, man. Give me the book of Proverbs, chapter 4 and verse 2.
Proverbs, chapter 30 and verse 30. A lion, which is strongest among beasts, and turneth not away from any.
It turneth not away from any.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 4 verse 2. For I give you good doctrine. For I give you good doctrine. For I give you good doctrine. Forsake ye not my law.
Forsake ye not my law, man. Right? So what's going on, brother?
All right, question. Matthew 15:24. Who was Christ sent for?
Let's go to it. Matthew chapter 15 and verse 24. Hold on, before we go to that, is your understanding that God says that he can save everybody?
No, the Bible says all nations can be saved.
Okay, all nations can be saved. Now, do all nations know the truth?
Do all Hebrew Israelites know the truth? No.
No, I'm asking. Can anybody learn and understand the truth?
Yes.
He says yes. Do we have witnesses? Do we have witnesses? Give me the book of John, chapter 18 and verse 38. And give me the book of John, chapter 14 and verse 6. I want that first. And we're going to break it down through the spirit of our Lord and Savior, Yahushua the righteous. Book of John, chapter 14 and verse number 6. Yahushua said unto him, hold on, our Lord said it to him, I am the way, the truth, and the light. Now that may sound good to everybody walking around. They may start clicking their damn heels and snapping their damn fingers. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. But by me. So if that's talking about everybody and everybody can know the truth, then explain this precept. Bring that up.
John chapter 18 and verse 38. Pilate saith unto him.
Pilate is a so-called white man. Am I right or wrong? He's the governor. Give me the book of Luke chapter 23 and start at verse 4. Give me the Luke chapter 23 and start at verse 3, man. Now hold that and I'm going to link that up.
The book of Luke chapter 23 and verse number 3. And it reads. And Pilate asked him, saying, Art thou the king of the Jews?
So we know that he's not an Israelite. Art thou the king of the Jews?
And he answered him and said, Thou sayest.
What our king say?
Thou sayest. Thou sayest.
Thou sayest. So we know that Pilate is not an Israelite. Come on. Now go back to it, King.
John chapter 18 and verse 38. Pilate saith unto him,
Pilate, the so-called white man, said it to him.
What is truth?
What did he say?
What is truth?
He knows the truth.
What is truth?
What the white man say?
What is truth?
What is the truth? What is the understanding? What is the law? What is the doctrine? Now you just said, you got to answer to that. Because we got many witnesses. You just said that everybody can know the truth. But what did the Holy Bible say? Read it again.
And Pilate said unto him, What is truth?
What the white man say?
What is truth?
Everybody knows.
What is truth? And when he had said this, he went out again unto the Jews and said unto him, I find no fault in him at all.
I find no fault. I'm confounded. What is truth? What is the life? What is the understanding? What is the doctrine? What is prophecy? I know not of it. Explain, King.
Alright, cool. Pontius Pilate was a so-called Edomite, right?
All right.
Alright. Didn't Christ tell Pontius, they that brought me to you, speaking of his people, because Pontius said, thine own nation brought you to me. Didn't Christ say in John 18 verse 35, my own people have the greater sin?
What does that have to do with not knowing the truth? You got to answer that question.
Let me finish, King.
All right, answer.
Why is Christ telling the Edomite that his own people got a greater sin than Edomites?
We're going to go to it. But first you got to explain it. We can go to it. We're going to explain it. I want you not to run from what you just said.
You brought up Pilate, and
I did bring up Pilate.
John 18.
You asked the question, we answered it, and we broke it down in the truth. Now you got to rebuttal and answer that.
John 18. Christ is telling the
Give me the book of Psalms, chapter 39 and verse 9, man.
Christ is telling.
Because you running, you're rebuttaling, you backpedaling. You backpedaling. Give me the book of Psalms, chapter 39 and verse 9.
Psalms chapter 39 and verse number 9. I was dumb. I opened not my mouth.
I did what?
I opened not my mouth. I opened not my mouth.
Hey, the Lord said I was dumb. I opened not my mouth. I want you to explain why the so-called white man says, I do not know the truth, if you say all men know the truth and can know the truth.
Christ speaking to a white man. Pilate answered to Christ, am I a Jew? Your own nation, the Israelites, delivered thee unto me. Christ tells the Edomite, he that delivered me to you has the greater sin. Why is Christ telling a white man that y'all got a greater sin than white people? What's up with that?
We can answer that. I want you to answer my question.
That's an uppercut.
Okay, well, we just found out he's confounded. That's the first count. That's the first strike. Brother, you running. You on a treadmill and now you starting to sweat. And you gonna keep running till you pass out, man. You know what we gonna do? We gonna put that little red thing up. We gonna keep it running. You gonna keep it running until you trip and fall, brother. And we're not running from nothing, man. Give me the book of Psalms chapter 89 and verse number 20. We're gonna go to it, man. Give me the book. Right, the second Esdras chapter 1 and verse 32. Give me the book of Matthew chapter 23 and start at verse 40. And we're going to break it down.
It's the book of Psalms chapter 89 and verse number 20. I have found David, my servant. With my holy oil have I anointed him.
69 and verse number 20.
Second Ezra. Bring that up.
This is the book of 2nd Esdras chapter 1 and verse 32. I sent unto you my servants the prophets, whom ye have taken and slain, and torn their bodies in pieces, whose blood I will require of your hands, saith the Lord.
Right, so you had some of our forefathers that went off, man. And they slayed the prophets and turned them into pieces. You read about that in the book of Hosea, right? You read about the book of Hebrews, that 11th chapter. Bring that up.
It's the book of Psalms,
Start at verse 24.
chapter 69 and verse number 24. Pour out thy indignation upon them, and let thy wrathful anger take hold on them. Let their habitation be desolate, and let none dwell in their tents.
I'm a Christian.
For they persecute him. For they persecute him.
So some of our forefathers, they live it up our Lord.
For they persecute him whom that has smitten, and they taught the grief of those whom that has wounded. Add iniquity unto their iniquity.
Add iniquity unto iniquity.
and let them not into thy righteousness. And let them not into thy righteousness.
So that explains the question. Let them not enter into thy righteousness. Because the Lord blinded the minds of certain men that would not be able to understand. You read about that in the book of Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 9 and various other precepts. That's always prophesied for certain men not to wake up and understand the truth. That has nothing to do with anything. Give me the book of Matthew chapter 3 and verse number 8 and we're going to go to it.
Yo, why he can't talk?
Hold on, he didn't ever answer the question.
You brought up Second Ezra.
Let's go to Second Ezra.
Ezra 1:24. Speaking about y'all, please God. What shall I do unto thee, O Jacob? Who's Jacob?
The 12 tribes of Israel.
That's you guys. Watch what God got to say about y'all. Thou Judah would not obey me because y'all killed Christ and the prophets. I will turn me to other nations. Edomites, Moabites.
That's not what that's talking about. That's not what that's talking about.
You don't understand nothing.
That's not what that's talking
I will
about.
go to other nations, and unto those will I give my name, that they may keep my statutes.
Give me the book of Isaiah chapter 43.
And give me Isaiah 50.
Give me the book of Isaiah chapter 43 and verse number 8, man. And we're going to go to it.
Hold on. Seeing that ye have forsaken me, I will forsake ye also, and I will have no mercy upon you. Whereso ye shall call upon me, I will not hear you. Thus says the Lord, that I will give my house to other people who have not seen my prophets or seen my words.
All right, now what is that talking about?
That's talking about y'all.
Let's talk about us. All right, let's go to
Isaiah chapter 43 and verse 8. Bring forth the blind people that have eyes.
What the Lord say?
Bring forth the blind people that have eyes.
What the Lord say?
Bring forth the blind people that have eyes and the deaf that have ears. Let all the nations be gathered together and let the people be assembled. Who among them can declare this and show us former things? Let them bring forth their witnesses, that they may be justified, or let them hear and say it is true.
Now give me the book of Acts chapter 2 and verse number 5. And we're going to go to all nations. Give me the book of James chapter 1 and verse 1. You don't know what all nation means. No, we're going to break it down. We're going to break it down. Give me the book of Acts chapter 21 and verse number 18. Because you don't understand what the Bible is talking about. Give me the book of Acts chapter 21 and verse 18 first. Bring that out. Give me the book of James.
It's the book of James chapter 1 and verse number 1. James, a servant of God and of the Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. To the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. To the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. To the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad.
To the 12 tribes that are scattered abroad. Now you want to say you want to go to Paul so much and talk about the Gentiles. Let's go to Paul. Hold on, let's go to Paul.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 21 and verse 18. In the day following, Paul went with us unto James, and all the elders were present.
Now all the elders are present. Paul's coming up to Jerusalem. Give me the book of Galatians chapter 2 and verse number 4. That you had certain men that come out and spy out Paul's liberty as he came down to do the work of the Lord. Give me the book of Galatians chapter 1 and verse 18.
And when he had saluted them, he declared particularly what things God had wrought among the Gentiles.
Because literally Paul had to come before the elders. Peter, James, John, the authority in the Sanhedrin.
And when they heard it, they glorified the Lord and said unto him, Thou seest, brother, how many thousands of Jews there are which believe, and they are all zealous of the law.
Right, they're all zealous of the law. Mean to beware when you come to Jerusalem. All of these men, they're zealous of the law. You come seemingly teaching another doctrine and another understanding.
And they are informed of thee, that thou teachest all the Jews which are among the Gentiles to forsake Moses, saying that they ought not to circumcise their children, neither to walk after their customs.
Let's see if Paul and these Gentiles are other nations. Let's see if there's the so-called white man and the Chinese man. Read on.
What is it therefore? The multitude must needs come together.
The multitude must need come together.
For they will hear that thou art come. Do therefore this that we say to thee.
Do for to this to the Gentiles that we say to thee.
We have 4 men which have a vow on them. Which have a vow on them. Which have a vow on them. Which have a vow on them.
4 men that have a vow on them. Let's see what Paul has to do in the sight of these men to get them to understand that Paul is in the truth and not giving a damn about the so-called white man.
Them take and purify themselves with them, and be at charge with them, that they may shave their heads
and all may know that those things whereof they were informed concerning thee are nothing. Are nothing. Are nothing. Are nothing. Are nothing. Are nothing. That means everything, brother. That's literally saying that Paul is not coming to save everybody. He had to come in the sight of everybody. Brother, stop speaking while I'm speaking. I'm going to let you speak and then let me speak. The word of the Lord is coming up. Right. If you're a man of the Lord, you will be listening. No, literally the words of Yahweh are coming up.
That's what Christ said.
Bring out your point. Bring out your point.
All right. Numbers 14, verse 18. This is God talking to Moses because God's about to kill y'all. Because y'all keep doing the same game.
Usually just having a debate with nothing.
Hold on, sister. Hold on, sister. Hold on, sister.
So this is
Bring it
the
up.
actual word of God. Numbers 14, 18. The Lord, this is Moses saying, pardon, I beseech thee. And this is what the Lord says. The Lord is long-suffering and of great mercy, forgiving iniquities and transgressions, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children. Pardon, I beseech thee. Moses is begging God not to kill y'all. The iniquities of this people, according unto the greatness of thy mercy, as thou hast forgiven this people from Egypt until now. And the Lord said, I have pardoned according to thy word, but as truly as I live, all the earth shall be filled with my glory, because those men, the Israelites, that I pulled out of Egypt, have tempted me now these 10 times. God said he's going to bring his glory to all people now.
Give me the book of Psalms chapter 85 and verse 11. You don't know what that's talking about. You don't know what that's talking about. Because the Most High has blinded you to the understanding. Give me the book of Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 9.
Psalms chapter 85 and verse number 11. And it says, the truth shall spring out of the earth. Truth shall spring out of the earth. Truth shall spring out of the earth.
Truth is going to spring out of the earth because we're literally spread throughout the four corners of the earth. So you're going to have truth in Africa. You're going to have truth in London. You're going to have truth in Europe. You're going to have truth in Babylon the Great. Everywhere the Israelites are that was scattered, you will have truth. And righteousness shall spring up out of the earth, brother. That's exactly what that's talking about.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 29 and verse number 9. Stand yourselves and wonder, cry ye out and cry. They that are drinking, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink.
Right, they stagger, but not with strong drink. Give me the book of 2 Kings, chapter 8 and verse 20. And we're going to go into it.
Let's do it one verse at a time. Hold on. Matthew 8, verse 10.
And it reads, verse 10. Hold on. I'm bringing out the words of the Lord. Nobody interrupted you when you spoke. Nobody interrupted you when you spoke. You're not about to interrupt the words of the Lord.
Verse 10. For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep. The spirit of deep sleep.
The spirit of deep sleep. Now, according to the Bible, you saying everybody can be saved. Give me the book of 1 Kings, chapter 9 and verse 20.
Don't twist it.
There's nothing twisted.
Whoever goes through Christ can be saved.
Well, let's find out who Christ came for. Who did Christ come for?
Christ came first to the children of Israel. First.
And then he came to the Gentiles later on.
No, 1 John, he came unto his own received him not, so whoever did receive him to them gave him power.
Give me the book of John chapter 1 and verse 10. And we're going to break down that correctly according to the words of the Lord. Give me the book of Numbers chapter 28 and verse number 4. Give me the book of Matthew chapter 27 and verse number 45.
Bring that up.
John 1 and 14.
1 and 10.
So,
Book of St. John chapter 1 and verse number 10. He was in the world, and the world was made by him.
He was in the, let's break this down in the spirit. Let's take our time, line from line, word from word. He was in the world,
and the world was made by him.
Right, he created the world.
And the world knew him not.
And the what?
And the world knew him not.
they didn't know the Lord. You understand? They took a step back. Look at, can I finish? Can I finish? Can I break it down? Because you're irate right now. I'm trying to give the sense.
Bring it down.
He was in the world, and the world was made by him.
The world was made by him.
And the world knew him not.
Read.
And he came unto his own,
Came unto his own.
and his own received him not.
The own received them not. Talking about what? What is that talking about?
you guys.
Talking about what? Give me the book of John chapter 6 and verse 15. And we're going to break that down. What that's really talking about. Because you stumble at the stumbling stone. You don't understand what the Bible is talking about.
This is the book of John chapter 6 and verse 15.
Now you say that literally Yahweh Shah is talking about all the Jews. Let's see what the Lord said.
When Jesus therefore perceived that they would come
and take him by force. 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 To make him a king. 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 See, you had literally a multitude that followed him. You had certain people that believed, that had the understanding, that was following the prophecies, that he healed, that he blessed, that he woke up from the dead.
Look at John chapter 1 and verse number 10 again. He was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not. And he came into his own, and his own received him not. But as many as received him,
Trying to make him a king.
but as many as received him,
Trying to make him a king.
but as many as received
The
him,
Jews are trying to make him a king.
but as many as received him,
Many as received him.
to them gave he power to become the sons of God.
Come to what?
To become the sons of God.
That's what that's talking about. As many as have received him, them gave he power to become the sons of the living God.
A non-Israelite who received Christ. Matthew 8 verse 10. When Jesus heard it, he marveled and said unto
Go to the book of Matthew chapter 8 and 8.
Verily I say unto you, I have found no great faith, no, not in Israel. And I say unto you, a non-Israelite, that many shall come from the east and the west and sit down with Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. But the children of the kingdom, you guys, will be cast down. Hold on, Acts 2, because you said that the nation didn't kill Christ. Peter's lying there, right? Acts 2, then Peter said, to the whole, let the whole house of Israel know assuredly that yea, crucified Christ. Why would Peter say y'all all killed Christ?
Can we break it down? Are you going to listen?
Or are you going to twist it?
There's nothing to be twisted. The Lord is not the author of confusion. Give me the book of Acts chapter 11 and verse number 6. And give me the book of Acts chapter 10 and verse number 45. And bring out what you got.
Matthew chapter 8 and verse 8. The centurion.
Right, you had a centurion. Now, what is a centurion?
A non-Israelite, brother.
That's not what that's talking about. Give me the book of Acts chapter 10 and verse number 1. And we're going to go into it, man. Because Cornelius was an Israelite. We're going to prove it right now. We're about to break it down right now.
He was a devout man.
Look at Acts chapter 10 and verse number 1. There was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band, a devout man, and one that feared God, and one that feared God.
Give me the book of Job chapter 21 and verse number 7.
Feared God with all his house, which gave much alms to the people, and prayed to God always. He saw in a vision evidently about the 9th hour.
Hold on, we're about to go to that.
Bring that up.
Job chapter 21 and verse number 7. Wherefore do the wicked live, become old, yea, are mighty in power. Their seed is established in their sight with them, and their offspring before their eyes. Their houses are safe from fear, neither is the rod of God upon them. Their bull gendereth and faileth not. Their cow calveth and casteth not her calf. They send forth their little ones like a flock, and their children dance. They take the timbrel and harp, and rejoice at the sound of the organ. They spend their days in wealth,
Spend their days in wealth.
and in a moment go down to the grave. Therefore, they say unto God,
They say unto God,
depart from
What's
us.
the white man say?
Depart from
What's
us.
the heathen say?
Depart from us.
What's the wicked say?
Depart from
What's the
us.
white man say?
Depart from us.
this is literally what they say. Depart from us.
For we desire not the knowledge of thy ways.
Now give me the book of Job chapter 17 and verse number 4. And we're going to go to it.
Job chapter 17 and verse 4. For thou hast hid their heart from understanding.
What the Lord say?
For thou hast hid their heart from
Coming
understanding.
to the white man.
For thou hast hid their heart from
The
understanding.
Lord said he has hid their heart from understanding. The so-called white man would never understand these words.
Therefore shalt thou not exalt them. He that speaketh flattery to his friends, even the eyes of his children shall fail.
Even the eyes of his generation shall fail. Give me the book of Deuteronomy 28 and 28. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse number 28. And it reads, the Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart, and thou shalt group at noonday as the blind groupeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. brother. You need to humble down and get the understanding of what the Lord is going into. Give me the book of Matthew chapter 27 and verse 45. And give me the book of Numbers chapter 28 and verse 4. No, brother, we breaking it down for you. Job was not an Edomite. You're not about to sway the spirit. We about to finish breaking this down to give the proper edification.
Matthew chapter 27 and verse 45. Now from the 6th hour there was darkness all over the land.
Now you say that Yahushua came to die for everybody. Well, let's figure it out according to the Bible.
Until that 9th hour. And about the 9th hour, Yahushua cried with a loud voice.
Now what is the 9th hour?
All right. Job.
What is the 9th hour? Respond.
Job was an Edomite. There was a man.
You running, brother. Hold on. You jumping to Job right now. I'm answering your question. Right now, I want you to answer who and what is the 9th hour. What's the 9th hour?
That's the 21st question.
What's the 9th hour?
Let me answer one question.
Answer your question.
There was a man in the land of Oz. Lamentations 4 verse.
Oh, he confounded.
Right. But the Lord voice saying, Eli, lama sabachthani. That is to say, my God, why hast thou forsaken me?
So what is the 9th hour? We're about to go and break it down. There's literally an hour, right, of prayer, the evening sacrifice. Give me that in the book of Numbers, chapter 28 and verse number 4. And we're about to bring that up.
Chapter 28 and verse number 4.
Give me the book of Psalms, chapter 50 and verse 5.
And raise the one lamb shalt thou offer in the morning, and the other lamb shalt thou offer in the evening.
So in the law, the children of Israel had two sacrifices. One in the morning and one in the evening. Now the one in the evening has everything to do with everything. Because these laws were only given to our fathers. Everybody else cannot offer and have a lamb for their sins, according to the Bible. Hold on.
Verse 5. And a 10th part of the ephah of flour for a meat offering.
Yeah. So you have one in the morning and one in the evening.
The book of Psalms 55, Psalms 50 and verse 5. Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice.
So who did sacrifices?
Can I respond now? All right, 1 Kings 8. Let's see who could do sacrifices. 1 Kings 8. All right. Ready? I'm not finished. You crazy, dude. Okay. Then here in heaven, okay, we're having a this isn't my Bible.
It isn't your Bible. I thought you was more live. What is this damn vocab Malone on steroids? What happened, brother?
Concerning a stranger that is not of thy people. Also, that don't count, brother.
Come on, brother. That's milk.
That is not of thy people in Israel. Hear thou in heaven and take his sacrifices and offerings. I thought Israel was the only one.
Give me the book of Isaiah chapter 56 and verse 4, man. Let's go to it, man. Give me the book of 1 Kings chapter 9 and verse 20. Give me the book of 2 Kings chapter 8 and verse 20, man. We're about to go to it. Give me the book of 2 Samuel chapter 8 and verse number 14. Bring that up.
Isaiah 56 and verse 4.
And I'm going to show you, brother, if you didn't know, this is what the Spirit of the Lord is right here, man. These are mighty lions. These are our forefathers. And these are the prophets of old.
For thus saith the Lord. For thus saith the Lord. For thus saith the Lord. Unto the eunuchs that keep my Sabbaths and choose the things that please me and take hold of my covenant. Even unto them will I give in mine house and within my walls a place and a name better than of the sons and daughters. I will give them an everlasting name that shall not be cut off. Also, the sons of the strangers.
Hold on, you about to cut yourself.
Also, the sons of the strangers that join themselves unto the Lord.
That join themselves into the Lord. Now hold on, let's break it down. Give me the book of Ezra chapter 7 verse 25. Give me the book of Deuteronomy chapter 23 and verse 1. What makes you a stranger? 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 You can't answer the question. We're going to show you what makes you a stranger.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23 and verse 1. He that is wounded in the stones, or hath his private member cut off,
he that is wounded in the stones, or have his private member cut off,
shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord.
What makes you a stranger?
Shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord.
shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. Leviticus chapter 5 and verse 1. And if a soul sin,
And for what?
if a soul sin,
So sin.
and hear the voice of swearing, it is a witness whether he have seen or known of it. If he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity. Or if a soul touch any unclean thing,
Any unclean thing,
whether it be carcass or of an unclean beast,
carcass or unclean beast,
or of a carcass of an unclean cattle, or the carcass of an unclean creeping thing, and if it be hidden from him, he also shall be unclean and guilty.
And what?
And guilty. Or if he touch the uncleanness of a man, whatsoever uncleanness it be he that a man shall be defiled withal, shall it be hid from him when he knoweth of it, then he shall be guilty. Or if a soul swear, pronouncing with his lips to do evil or to do good, whatsoever it be that a man shall pronounce with an oath, and it be hid from him, whether he knoweth of it, then he shall be guilty in one of these things. And it shall be, when he shall be guilty in one of these things, that he shall confess that he has sinned in that thing. And he shall bring the trespass offering unto the Lord. Now he shall bring the trespass offering to the Lord. Give me Leviticus chapter 6 and verse number 10.
The book of Ezra, chapter 7, and verse 25. And thou, Ezra, after the wisdom of thy God that is in thine hand, set magistrates and judges, which may judge all the people that are beyond the river, all such as know the law
all that know the law,
of thy God, and teach ye them that know them not. And whosoever will not do the law of thy God,
Whoever don't want to do the law of the Most High God,
and the law of the king, let judgment be executed speedily upon him, whether it be unto death or to banishment.
to what?
To banishment.
To strangers.
To banishment.
To the congregation.
To banishment.
To strangers.
To banishment. To banishment. To banishment.
banishment. So in the law, you can be banished without the cap, which makes you a stranger. Give me the book of Leviticus chapter 6 and verse number 8.
Leviticus chapter 6 and verse 8. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, command Aaron and his sons, saying, this is the law of the burnt offering. It is the burnt offering because of burning upon the altar all night unto the morning. And the fire of the altar shall be burning in it. And the priest shall put on his linen garment, and his linen breeches shall he put on his flesh, and take up the ashes which the fire hath consumed. So what? With the burnt offering on the altar, and he shall put them beside the altar. And he shall put off his garments, and put on other garments, and carry forth the ashes